Okay, we're back. All right. I gotta mute this. Hold on. Okay, perfect. All right, what's good, my brother? What's good, bro? Yeah. So, as promised, we back here. Uh, I won't be able to see your comments. I'm doing this. I stream with StreamYard. So if you have comments on Instagram, I won't be able to see it. And I can't flip back and forth. All right, so we're gonna get into it. I don't want to be on too long. Really, I'm checking in. I've done this. This is what 6 7 days. Juices and smoothies for myself. This week is Solstice week. Today, tomorrow's the 17th. Will be a week. Well, a week from today will be the 23rd. So we'll be right in the fold of the winter solstice. So really, what I wanted to do is come on here. Actually, I will flip back and forth because I can see the Instagram. I just have to flip to a different tab on my computer. So if y'all got comments or questions that you want to type in the comment box, I'll be able to see. So cool. I'm getting used to this. Getting used to this. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to really make this a little bit more interactive. If if y'all don't have any direct questions, I do have a small message presentation class prepared. Really, you know, in my journey with practicing yoga, meditation, raw food, fasting, I really feel that they fit under the same umbrella. I think really to get the most out of each one, they should be looked at as a collective practice. I know people who are just into the yoga. I know people who are just into the meditation. I know meditation, I'll even extend that to like something like Qigong, because to me, that is also sort of it's very meditative, at least it can be. Um, and then, of course, I know people who are just do raw food, don't necessarily really get into. I mean, normally the raw fooders will have some sort of alternative exercise or practice. They usually, if they're conscious about the food choices, they're also conscious about their practice, usually incorporating some either yoga, meditation, or just plain old exercise. But I think that in order for us to really look, I'm sharing with y'all my life and my lifestyle practices, and I know for a fact that at least from my experience, that it is most beneficial to layer these on top of each other, integrate them all together with the lifestyle. That's why this time of the year is so important, and it brings an intention. It brings a rhythm. I mean, we all should be familiar with the circadian rhythm, and in terms of a 24-hour cycle, given that we wake up with the sun. Even though we're pretty much indoors, especially in the wintertime, we're still waking up with the sun. We're going to sleep with the sunset for the most part. Um, and then we eat with the sun. So if we know these things and we understand how hormones are released different times of the day, we understand that different times of the day it is more effective to do one activity versus another activity. When we expand that knowledge and that rhythm for the 365 day calendar, the 12-month 365-day calendar, then we can really look at our year as a day. And not only, and just like how we know what to do to be a most efficient in a day, but we don't necessarily practice that. We don't have that mindset of that consciousness in terms of practicing it for the year. So that's what really, I think, sets what I'm doing apart from people who just talk about fasting, right? People who just talk about food, and people who just talk about meditation, yoga meditation. I think this is unique message. I know it is unique message that we can bring all these things together in a very high vibrational way, where again we not only are going to be able to be our healthiest, we're going to be on a high vibrational consciousness. We're also going to be able to to get the most out of the year. So, as far as planning your goals, objectives, you're going to really be able to uh, to really get the most out of the year. Just like we get the most out of a day, we know that we got to get a good night's rest. We know that there's just some activities like again. I mean, we can't just go all the time. We have to rest, go. As a yin and a yang. So by bringing that consciousness to the year and understanding how important the winter solstice season is, doing this fasting, giving your digestive organs the much deserved rest and break. It's been a good week for me. The first few days, like always, are always sort of the toughest. You still have that desire to put some type of food, some type of matter into the gut, and by third, fourth day, you're feeling really higher, and the appetite really goes away. So I'm really there at that point. I don't have any desire. I was serving food today, didn't have any desire to taste it, or um, so it just lets you know that when you get to that mode that you're just going with it. And then of course now it's so much easier to go into your meditation. um, One of the things, I've been going in pretty hard on some of the things. So I want to add another layer today on the meditation, um, and that layer is going to be brainwaves. you know, I think the more we understand what's happening on a on every level, then I think the better, the more motivated we'll be if we understanding what's going on. One of the things that I mentioned before is that in the brain with our thoughts, that is the electricity that's generated, and then the feelings in our body, that's the magnetism, that's the magnetic. So thoughts and feelings create an electric or electromagnetic field, uh, EMF, as some call it, right? So we're really in this time looking at creating the most powerful EMF signal so that we can magnetize and create our lives when we can really take control of our thoughts and allow those thoughts to take control of the body, and understanding the brainwave activity, then we can understand how it works. Sometimes we just have to understand some of the science behind these things. It's not enough to rely on a feeling or intuition. I rely on that, but I think even for myself, where I heavily rely on my intuitive abilities, my natural instinct. But even with that said, the more that I study this and understand it, even from a more logical, left brain, scientific standpoint, it 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 validates my intuition. It validates my gut instincts, and so brain waves. Because the thing is that you know before we go into each one, it's important to understand that, again, just to recap on what I've been talking about, is that we have a spiritual body and we have an animal body. I also call that animal body the beast. So I say, which one is in charge, the spirit body or the animal body? And one of the things we need to understand is that with the animal body, if we're not meditating, if we're not taking quiet time, if we're not closing our eyes while we're awake each and every day, then the beast is in charge. Because the spirit wants to disconnect, wants to shut down the senses, wants to fast. The beast wants to eat, wants to think all day, go go go, you know, drama drama drama. The beast want to, just feel everything about the physical reality. But as I said, what ends up happening is that trauma is guaranteed. Matter of fact, I want to go through that again before we get into the brain waves, because that's some heavy stuff. That's some heavy stuff. Um, so we're gonna recap. We're gonna recap. Yeah. So there's four elements or four attributes to that beast life. And again, we recapping from the last presentation. Four attributes to that beast life. Again, indulging in food, or just food in general, but the indulgence of food. The food, again, reminds us, if we're always eating multiple times a day with snacks and stimulating drinks, and then On top of that, well, we get that is going into the second attribute. Again, that's always reminding us that we're physical. If there's always food, the body is constantly working, overworked. We're always reminded that we're human animals. And then, of course, because you saturate the body with food, right? Because you've been programmed that you got to eat in order to live. Then you look for other stimulants, for other stimulants. We all inherently want to connect with the higher vibration, and we can't connect with the higher vibration if we're just on that low vibration of food. Food keeps us on a low vibration. There's a balance, right? So going into the second attribute of the beast life, that's the drugs. So they could be prescription drugs or recreational drugs, right? Because the prescription drugs are necessary to offset all of the discomfort that the food and the indulgence of food is bringing. Because when we start to feel pain, because the body's like, look, stop eating, I need to catch up, right? I need to catch up with the assimilation and the elimination. You putting in food faster than I can process it. So the beast is like telling you, it's bringing you the pain, right? Um, and then, of course, the recreational drugs, because again, you disconnected, or you just too connected to that on that beast level. You're so connected on that beast vibration that you want to connect with something higher. So you reach for the this, or the alcohol, or the cigarettes, or the shrooms. And then if you want to go higher, you go to ayahuasca, and they got all, y'all know, right? So again, that's what the beast has to do in order to feel some type of it's like those substances have to really overstimulate the beast in order for you to tap into something higher, right? It does allow you to tap. I mean, I'm not gonna, ayahuasca. I've never done ayahuasca, but I don't have to. I don't have no desire to do that. I could do it without the ayahuasca. And then, of course, my favorite is drama. Drama. The 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 biggest attribute, or one of the biggest attributes of the beast life, the animal beast life, is drama. Because if you're never taking quiet time, you're going to, what brings the drama is getting triggered. Who's triggering you? Are you triggered by your spouse, your partner? You triggered by a situation, your coworkers, your boss. You got a business, your customers, somebody out there you interacting with, or you triggered by, well, that's going into the fourth one. But triggers, right? Drama. What this one did to you, what this one said, and we love it. We love it. I mean, check out my last live stream. I believe it's called The Most Important Information. So I don't want to spend too much time because I got to wrap this up under an hour. We're already at minute 19. Uh, and then the fourth is lack. You know, even if you're successful, if you don't connect with the source, when I say that, I mean, you know, again, going into meditation, come you disconnected from the 3D limited. This is our limited reality, right? So even if you successful on this earth plane, it's still limited. It's and it's not, it's never enough. So you still, even if you are financially comfortable, or successful on some other level, you still are going to be operating from a lack paradigm, and it's going to again provide triggers, provide stress. You're not activated on a higher vibration, and what all of that is going to produce, the indulgence of food, drugs, drama, and lack, is trauma. Trauma is inevitable. And why is trauma inevitable? Because it goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, and that is that we all want to connect with the highest version of ourselves. And trauma, when you're not connecting, trauma is inevitable. So trauma could, it's just higher level drama, higher level drama. So the divine life, right? That's beast life. So in the divine life, very simple. So everything has a beast life. We got food, the indulgence of food. In the divine life, we make fasting a part of our lifestyle. So fasting is practiced daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, and yearly. So we use all of the cycles to 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 practice a level of fasting, um, on some level. Okay, so it could be fruit, it could be juices, smoothies, it could be water, coconut water, or even on the breath. All right, that way we don't, because even if you just practice fasting, you didn't practice meditation, you didn't practice a consciousness with the circadian rhythm, just by doing that alone, your body is going to be able to connect better with its divine highness, the higher vibration of the body. So, two, the second one, right? That beast life. You said drugs, so whether they be prescription drugs or recreational drugs, still drugs. In the divine life, it's meditation. And I'll also say prayer. Prayer is, prayer is different, but prayer is quiet. It's closing your eyes. It's tapping into another source. But, for intensive, my message here, we're going to key in on the meditation, because the meditation, and that's what I'm going to get into about our brain waves. The last half of this, and I'll probably bring me right to an hour, as our brain waves. But the meditation is part of the divine life, because we need to have quiet time. If you're not taking 5 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before you go to bed, after you watch anybody on this stream, like I said, once I shut all this down, the lights shut down, let's sit right in this chair. I'll probably go for an hour. I've been going for an hour. I've been going for an hour lately on average. And like I said, we're going to talk about that the brain waves. Um, so, what's that third attribute of the beast life is drama. Well, the third attribute of the divine life is bliss. Bliss. Because that's when we really start to use our thoughts to connect with our emotions and connect our emotions, or start to really take charge of those emotions, because now we can really, any situation in life where it calls on some drama response, we can flip it. We can flip it, or it could just bounce right off of you. I mean, it's very, an analogy I like to use, like if I strengthen my muscles, if I'm working out, I'm strengthening my muscles to the point where if somebody touched me, I don't feel it, or I feel it but it don't affect me. So in our meditation, it needs to be an intention. I mean, on one level, yeah, it is quiet, it is deep, and it's reflective. But then once we start to go into that eternal infinite space, and we can separate our consciousness from this beast, from this animal, now we can start to rewire the emotional makeup of the body. Because I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but in my next stream, I'm going to get into the chakra system in relation to our emotional self, right? But tonight I'm going to focus on the brain. But the bliss happens from using and actually now starting to rewire the emotional self, understanding that love. So it's not only about feeling the emotion of love, but really opening the love portal where it's so strong. I talked about loving anyone so much. I mean, how many people we could say we love so much, right? And we could just start like going down a list of how many people we love so much. That's just one example, right? We could go into, what's another positive emotion? Joy, right? We can be so happy, not because something good happened to us externally. It come when we generate it from within. It's a happiness that that nothing external can compare to. Whatever happens, it's so when you're able to generate that's bliss. That's bliss. And then ultimately, where in that beast animal life, you're going to have lack. That's a fact. Because again, we live in this, the animal is connected to the physical reality, where from here to here we can measure. It's not it's not infinite, it's not eternal, it's not timeless, it's not these things, these attributes that we connect when we connect with the divine self, with that divine life. So we have a paradigm of wealth, not because our bank account says we're wealthy, not because your house or your physical toys and tricks say you're wealthy. No, because it's all within. You're whole and complete. When you're whole and complete spiritually, there's nothing that this physical world that can give you that's going to make you happy. I mean, you can ask any wealthy person, uh, does their money? Yeah, certainly their money does give them. I'm sure anyone would admit that. However, there's going to be something missing if they're not connected. So, when you're practicing these things, these four attributes: fasting, meditation, bringing bliss, that meditation in a blissful way. And actually, bliss is a practice. It's a muscle. It's something we should work on. And as I said, when you in that beast paradigm, you get triggered. When you get triggered, and I mean, you love it. You won't admit it, but you love it. But when you on this life, those things that trigger drama don't trigger you in the same way. They won't trigger you at all because your love muscle is strong, your joy muscle is strong, your bliss muscle is strong. So what happens when your bliss, love, joy muscles are strong? You actually get triggered in the other way, the other direction, where, like I said, how many people can actually bring themselves or get triggered where they now are have tears of joy, are now, you hear something inspiring, someone has a message, or someone you see, and you get triggered to a point where, wow, that love and the emotion, the powerful love, joy, bliss emotions just take over. You're like, wow, I feel so good. Not because of anything outside came to me, because again, that's the lack paradigm. We should be operating from the paradigm of the infinite realm, the source space. And that's the again, the fourth one is wealth versus lack. So all of these things we start practicing, where in the beast life trauma is inevitable, in the divine life ecstasy is inevitable. Okay. And that's a good segue into our brainwaves, because really quick, is basic. Right now, most of us, or all of us, are operating at the beta wave. The beta wave is when we're awake, we're conscious, we're using our mind in a logical, we're thinking, we're communicating. uh it's that beta wave. So basically, that's that animal beast level, that beta wave level, when when we're just always, especially when we're just thinking. We could just think, overthink, and creativity can't happen, or at least it can't happen on the same level when you stop, where you can learn to not think, and you could just allow things to come to you. But if you're always thinking, and then if you're stressed, you indulging in food. Again, all of the attributes: food, drugs, drama, and lack. That's on that beta wave paradigm. So most of us are spending way too much time and energy on the beta wave rhythm. Now, as we go into as now, let's go to the other extreme. So beta wave is the high level being awake, going to when we're asleep. That's when our brain waves are the slowest. We're in delta. So I think most of us go right from beta to delta. We lay down and we're still thinking. We're still pretty much in beta, even though we then maybe there's a small fraction of a moment you go to those other brain waves, but you pretty much just go right into delta. and you just basically go to from one extreme to the next. So those other levels that we're going to talk about now, that's where now we go into divine creation. We go into, the moment where we again become timeless. We become infinite. We become we really allow for ourselves to tap into something so much higher, so much greater than what we can see with our eyes. So right below beta is alpha. So once we are able to go into a meditation, and my favorite, because you got different levels of you got different ways to practice a meditation, as far as your posture. I don't. My least favorite is the laying down, because the laying down is where we go to sleep, and I think we can associate sleep pretty much with we can associate sleep pretty much with laying down, especially if it's at night, we're tired. We're not going to get it's not going to be a constructive meditation. Yeah, you can probably start to deep breathe, but we want to, my favorite is to be in a seated position, my hands relaxed on my lap, and I begin to be intentional about my breath. I'm doing a yoga breath most of the time where I'm belly breathing like a baby, where I'm inhale, my stomach comes out, exhale, my stomach comes in. So I'm just bringing that intention on the breath, and then I start going through my mental scripts where, as I said, whether I say I'm infinite and eternal, or I say magic and miracles, but basically, whatever I'm saying, the goal is to allow the body to go to sleep, but I'm still mentally awake. So once I allow the beast to go to sleep, right, put that animal to rest, now, now I'm pretty much, you could probably say I'm in alpha at that point. I'm in alpha, right? Or anyone for that matter is in the alpha brainwave state. Okay. And right before, and then there's a range of waves, one between alpha and delta, which is theta. So I think pretty much in my meditation, well, especially when I'm going through my mind scripts, I'm transitioning into alpha. But then once I go through my mind scripts, then I'm going into theta. And theta is almost like, again, it's like you're asleep, but you're not. I'm still seated. And so, to really sort of have this dance between, and it's not a conscious dance, it's like you just allow your consciousness to flow from one to another. Now, this is where now we start to we can use the mind, sort of, and really start to tap into those higher emotions, because there's a fifth brainwave, and I almost forgot to mention it. The fifth brainwave is the gamma, and gamma is even higher than beta. See, beta being the highest normally, delta being the lowest when we're in deep sleep, but then there's gamma, right? So how do we get to gamma? Well, gamma is that moment of ecstasy. It's that moment where we tap into something so far greater than this physical. I've had a few experiences of reaching gamma for sure. It's not every night. It's like one of those time, I guess, maybe all the stars are aligned at that moment, maybe the day was just flowing. I mean, we're going to have, with anything that we're doing on a regular basis, there's going to be days where it's going to be higher than other days. And then there's also, we could say that in reverse. There's going to be challenging days, right, versus days that are going to be more easy. So with gamma, I feel that it comes from, all of these practices, working them together, under the whole umbrella, you know, the fasting, but really it's that whole connection with the mind and the emotions, or the mind and the body. And then we can elevate, we can have these uh, 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 just moments of just ecstasy, and the brain is just vibrating so high. And again, it's not even though it's higher than beta, this is like some supernatural elevation. So these are the types of meditations, these are the type of experiences that we should aim to have, especially during the winter solstice. Okay, because I mean, just imagine if you're having gamma level meditations, gamma level frequency of the brain. They say when you reach in that level, your creativity, your insight, everything is on the God conscious level. Okay, so imagine having these type of moments during the darkest time of the year. During the winter solstice is that time where our meditation is these are the seeds for us to plant, for to harvest throughout 2024. Those The practices that we're doing in these next 2 weeks is going to be way more critical than any other time of the year. The time before you go to sleep, people who understand this science understand that your last 5 minutes of the day is the most important time of the day. So if we accept that as true, or as truth, then then this period of the year, we can say, is like the last 5 minutes of our year. And so it's going to be extra important how we spend it. Not overindulging in food, practicing our meditation. And I would say for anybody that is really on this train with me, definitely during the 21st to the 24th, at least an hour, preferably at night. But if you vibe, if you want to do it in the morning, I say first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, because see, the thing about the morning is that you coming from delta and you eventually going to beta, and then obviously along the way you want to capture that time. But if you had a great night's sleep, it's usually way more difficult for me personally. I know some people the morning meditation works. It doesn't work as well for me. Usually in the morning time, I'm ready to just get the day going. But at night, it's natural. It's natural. So that is the brain waves, beta, alpha, theta, delta, with gamma being the goal. Not every time, but at least I would say, well, during this solstice time for sure. I mean, reaching gamma, it's not something you want to force. It's just that when you now become, when your emotional body starts to really be in sync with your higher mind, and when your higher mind is given divine messaging to your lower mind, and you feeling that in a high vibrational way, then boom, that's the recipe to hit gamma. That's the recipe. That's the recipe. So again, that's not something. I mean, and you know, that's the thing. We're going back to that beast life. That's what, you know. That's why people are drawn to drugs, recreational, especially recreational. Not so much prescription. Prescription drugs are more antidotes for the overconsumption of food and the wrong foods. All right, because we know just eating or just overeating and then eating the wrong foods, it's going to send you on that path to, for, well, it's, you're going to need antidotes because pain is coming, right? Either whether it's acute or chronic, it's coming. I mean, it's going to be acute at first, but then if you don't make fast, if you don't get in front of it, and you start to erase levels of sensitivity. See, reaching gamma is about creating such a body, mind, spirit, soul of such sensitivity. And like I said, strengthening that love muscle, that joy muscle, that peace muscle, that bliss muscle, you know, strengthening those muscles to a level where, I mean, sometimes, you know, most times when I'm meditating, I'm not trying to go to gamma, but there are days where there's just hot. The bliss is just too strong. See, how many of us can relate to that? You know, can say, "Wow, man, I was so happy today. I was feeling so much love today. I was feeling so much love and joy. It brought me to tears." I mean, you know, that's this is how life should be. You know, we just, you know, I mean, we've been so conditioned and programmed, and so we become so addicted and connected to the animal beast life, right? We all out here, you know, and sure, we all have to survive. We all have to make money. We all have to, you know, just be out here surviving, living. But there's something much higher, much greater. Because when we really use this science, we use this art and science, uh, we, to disconnect from it. But then the irony of it is that by disconnecting from it, we're actually connecting to it. We're still connected. I mean, as you can meditate for 12 hours in a day, you still in your body, but you're able to connect with the physical life in the best way. See, that's the beautiful thing about all of this, right? We can really connect with the physical body. I mean, just by, you know, adopting a raw food lifestyle or a high raw food diet along with fasting is going to, you're going to get the most out of the physical body, right? But then now let's take that another step with adding the meditation or just adding exercise, right? But let's just say let's just say exercise, and then the meditation. Because the meditation, again, somebody who's been practicing raw food, I'm going on, it's been 23 years practicing raw food diet. I can say that meditation is more important than my raw food practice. Meditation. Um, but it all works together. Even though I would put that above. But when I got, because when I did get into this lifestyle, it's like they came to me together. I started practicing these things together. And while it was a learning curve, it was something that I was driven to do at the same time. And now it's really come back full circle because I got away from it. After a few years of really being, on it, again, just life stuff, becoming a chef and, um, getting married, start having children, that sort of thing. You can drift away from it. And I've come back to it in a real way where it's been the ultimate supreme blessing. And so and I've had and even though I haven't practiced it religiously consistently over these last 20 plus years, it never left me. And I've gained so much insight. There was so many questions I had 20 years ago that have now been answered. Not to say that I have all the answers, but I feel that I have such a high level, deep, introspective perspective because it's been with me. So these are all the things that I'm sharing over these last few weeks, and we'll continue to share. Now, to sum up, because we're going to end this in a few minutes. To sum up, just give a preview on the next one, and I want to really get into. We tapped into talking about the emotions, joy and love and bliss. So I really want to connect that with the chakras and really talk about going from the lower chakra to the higher chakras and how we can bring that level of understanding to it, another layer of understanding. I think again, the more we can add layers, the more because again, I mean, this is all for the beta mind, right? Because I mean, let's be honest, most of us are still like addicted to the beta brain waves. We're addicted to the drama, we're addicted to the drugs, we're addicted to the food. It's all addictions. We're addicted to the lack. But we addicted to all of it. So it's really about not only taming those things, but as we tame, it's not even, I've even found such a huge difference in things that I may have was struggling with that are just so easy to overcome now. Just by practicing it, I can. It's almost like my spirit body. But I could save that. Actually, I'm what I was just gonna say. I'm gonna save that for next time because that's an important nugget that I want to add on to the next presentation. So we're gonna end it there. We're gonna come to conclusion there. I'm looking at the Instagram. Yeah, they have this thing where I could stream on all of my platforms simultaneously. So that is cool. I don't need the set. You normally I have two devices running. So now it's all under one house. So that is cool. All right. So yeah, it's creation time. Y'all know what that means. It's time for me to shut off these lights, shut off these devices, and tap into my own Wi-Fi. So I guess maybe I should mention, so we officially want to give a shout out to my favorite, one of my favorite best students out there. I'll just call her D. She is signed up for the retreat. So once the first person signs up, it's a living thing. It's official. So I'm excited about that. If I had a soundboard, I'll be doing the hand clap. Congratulations, whatever it is. So appreciate that. Thank you for that. So yeah, the retreat is going to happen February. I don't know. Again, I'm already in alpha. You know, that for me, this is when the beta. I'm already in alpha, so I can't remember. I think it's the 12th to the 19th. So sunny Jamaica, right in the middle, or right at the tail end of winter. Get some good vitamin D, sunshine classes. Oh, and what's new about this retreat? Like, I'm going to be leading nightly meditation every night at this retreat. We're going to be doing at least hour long meditation every night of this retreat. So it's going to be a raw food. We'll do only one day of fasting, but it's going to be a meditation. It's going to be a raw food meditation retreat where we do our classes during the day. You get your massage. We, get in the water, do all that stuff, all that fun stuff, and then at night we have creation time. So I'm really excited about that. To be able to lead some powerful, for us to create this organic space and eating high vibrational food, getting high vibrational sun, and doing high vibrational, because we're right on the reef, so you hear the water. So we don't even need to play no meditation music. That water provide that meditation music. So we already got natural meditation music playing for us by the way of the water just hitting the coral reef. I'm excited. So I got that going on. Winter solstice. So I'm gonna try to come on because I think this is the last one. Let me pull up my calendar. Yeah, the solstice starts on Thursday. So maybe I'll come on Wednesday. If I'm not too busy. Yeah, I'll come on because I'm going to be busy. I don't think I'm going to be able to come on next Saturday because we got Christmas orders to fulfill. So yeah, check out my website. You local, check out my website. We got Christmas catering orders that we're doing. Look out for that. And I think that's it. Like I said, I'm already in alpha. My brain is shutting down. All right. Well, I love y'all with my authentic heart. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. Hit that like button. Comment on the video. Share the video. If you can. I would appreciate that. Help grow the channel. Help spread the message. I appreciate that. I love y'all. Y'all know that. And I will see y'all in a couple of days. I will try to come on Wednesday, the 20th, to talk about the chakras. Peace. Love.